Star Citizen is perhaps the most interesting and unique development story in the history of the entire games industry. What started as a relatively small-scale Kickstarter project with the simple ambition of reviving the basically dead space sim genre has grown into the single most crowdsourced project of all time. And now, 11 years later, we have to add a couple zeros to that original Kickstarter goal. Wait, they raised how much now? Jesus Christ! If, when it's finished, Star Citizen will be the most expensive video game production in history. Oh hey look, there's Cyberpunk. Go watch my videos on that after this. Cloud Imperium Games has over 1,000 employees working on this thing, and 21 million people have already played it. All this work from so many people for over a decade, and what do we have to show for it? Well,
hello, CitizenCon 2953.
CIG has created an incredibly powerful game engine, distantly based on Crytek's CryEngine, that can do things previously thought to be impossible. Seamless transitions between space and planet gameplay, as well as between the exterior and interior of some of the most detailed and high-fidelity spaceships ever crafted. Incredible physics systems, water tech, and fire propagation that can be experienced together with thousands of other players in a persistent game world using genuinely unprecedented, never-before-seen server meshing technology.
Yeah. This is the very first version of a working server mesh.
I'd highly recommend checking out the 20-minute-long Star Engine demo from this year's CitizenCon. There's some very impressive stuff happening behind the scenes in this game engine. Unfortunately, that's all still a little bit too theoretical. How is Star Citizen right now as a game? Not 1, 2, 10 years in the future. Well, I waited a long time to jump into the verse. For a while, I doubted it could ever live up to the lofty expectations surrounding it that had first garnered it so much excitement and then derision as the years continued to pile on. Still, through all that time, I held on to some hope that Star Citizen could become what was originally promised. A universe simulator with 10 times the detail of current AAA games, and a level of fidelity never before seen. Of course, we've all heard that line a few times now.
It allows us to have 16 times the detail.
And eventually, even a surface-level investment in Star Citizen began to feel slightly naive. 11 years and $500 million later, and it's still in alpha, still buggy and unbalanced and unpolished, missing all kinds of quality of life features and content, and with no solid finish line in sight. Now, the game is very much playable right now. If you decide to spend $40 on a starter ship, you can experience everything the game currently has to offer and earn in-game currency to buy all the other ships without spending another real-life dollar. But you will need to have an extraordinary level of patience if you so choose to jump in right now. You'll have to be okay with a crash or two every once in a while. You'll have to be fine with colliding against invisible asteroids and then spending 20 minutes with your finger on the W key as you glide back to your space station. You'll learn to smile and sit back as your quantum drive bugs out, your voice comms stop working, or the cargo that you worked so hard for worms its way out of your hold and into the void. So yeah, that's a lot of superlatives coming from me. It's kind of hard to talk about Star Citizen from a reasonable and balanced place, which is why I do understand both the die-hard fans that are ride or die for this project, but also the people who feel that they've been burned by broken promises from CIG. It's taken a long, long time and a lot of very expensive spaceship sales to get here, and we still have so far to go. But if you can handle the rough edges and some wasted time, you'll find yourself having experiences that you just can't get anywhere else. Like, maybe you'll receive a rescue beacon while you're drifting through an asteroid belt, and go rescue a stranger whose ship exploded and stranded them in the void. And then perhaps they'll invite you to a group, give you an awesome ship that looks like an X-Wing, and coordinate a massive operation to hunt extreme risk bounties and sell the drugs they're smuggling for millions in profits. And to top it all off, maybe the group leader will accidentally tell the entire server exactly where you're headed to sell those drugs, and a whole fleet of players will show up to stop you. Star Citizen, then, can be summed up currently as a bit of a mixed bag. There's a lot to like, plenty of cool ships to fly and engaging experiences to be had, but you may have to sift through some jank and gin up some of your own fun in this slightly barren solar system. But there's something about the game that feels important, monumental even. Star Citizen gives me hope for the future. Even with the missteps and missed deadlines, there's something beautifully optimistic about it. Seeing Chris Roberts tear up as his team showcases genuinely revolutionary server meshing technology.
The first time I saw this, about 3 weeks ago, working fully, I cried.
Hearing the cheers from the fans who have supported and funded this vision without corporate overlords or bean counters to rein it in. Playing something that feels truly unique, that could never have been made any other way. The MMO I dreamed about playing since I first started chopping down U-logs and warping through spreadsheet simulators 20 years ago. And it's nice to feel hopeful again, whether that's for the gaming industry or for humanity at large.
Folks, meet my new helper, Denby Belvedere.
Where's the leak? Where's the leak?
Looking towards the future used to be a frivolous and fun activity. Imagining the wacky and wild ways life would change in 10 or 100 years. There was always a sense of positivity about it, a distinct hope that tomorrow would be better than today. Life would be easy. All our menial daily tasks and laborious jobs taken over by technology. That starry-eyed, positive attitude towards the future is in pretty short supply these days. Much more common in the 21st century is a sense of fear, pessimism, and detachment towards the future. An expectation of malaise and collapse that seems to grow with each passing month. And yet, here's Star Citizen, created by dreamers and funded by passionate supporters, pushing the technological envelope forward, all in service of creating a world, a universe, in which humanity breaks through the barriers that lay before us now and into a brighter future. A timeline in which we've terraformed new home planets, conquered death itself, and cemented our place among the stars. Sure, there's still war and suffering, and apparently it continues to be easier to imagine the end of the universe than the end of capitalism. But we made it. Even if our star winks out into nothing, we've found 100 more stars to warm us elsewhere. We have something to look forward to hope for. Star Citizen says to us that things may be bleak now. The odds may be stacked against us, but if we just hold the line, better things are possible. Games don't have to be copy-pasted shovelware slop. They can be created and funded by passionate people, and the future doesn't have to be a bleak desert wasteland. It can be something to strive toward, to hope for. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and leave a comment telling me your feelings about Star Citizen's strange history or your thoughts about the future. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. And if you'd like to support me more directly, I just started a Patreon where you can help me create high-quality video essays for just $3.50 a month. Or you could go buy the $48,000 spaceship bundle. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.